champion. You are a champion. You are a champion. And in fact, all of us are champions from the day we were born. From the moment we are stepping our first step through grades at school, titles at the university, roles and achievements at work, we are all measured on the same thing. We are all in the same race. And when we succeed, we are feeling high. When we fail, we're feeling low. So when we fail, we doesn't feel like champions. And this is completely wrong. This mindset I will try to change today. Because if we are true champions, we will not be stopped by any outcome. You probably think that when I'm referring to champion, talking about people like Messi or Michael Jordan, right? People that you hear cheering their names or they are holding trophies. But let me tell you a story. When I was a young Scrum Master, my team failed to deliver on time. And we all were very depressed, very low, very quiet. And then suddenly, someone stood up and said, as long as we learn from our mistakes, we cannot really lose. So let's cheer up and let's move forward. And from that point, we all stand up and start clapping our hands, feeling really motivated. And from that point on, we deliver on time, high value to our customers. So when I'm saying welcome champions, I'm referring to you all, like the hidden champions, okay? The one with courage, the one that shape cultures, the one that moving their team forward. So welcome champions. So in your kit, everyone got a kit. There is a workbook that we will start in a few minutes. And also 2 cards, yellow and orange. But from time to time I will ask questions. It's not necessarily like the right or wrong answer. It's about your opinion. But your opinion might reflect, might change this session. So the power is in your hand. So what do you think now? Do you feel like a champion always or sometimes? Okay. Why sometimes? Who wants to say? Someone?
Me?
Maybe you?
Let's say I'm a young person. I have my ups and downs. I'm still working on myself, developing, studying, learning all the time. And I have my failures. And at those moments, I don't feel like a champion. I feel like maybe I should have done something different. Maybe I should have asked someone. Maybe, I don't know, there's something that puts me down. And when I feel low, I don't feel like a champion.
Thank you for sharing. So maybe in the next few minutes, you will think differently. Someone else want to share? No. Thank you. So, I guess you're all familiar with this guy. Novak Djokovic. So until 2016, he was like amazing, right? He broke almost every record. Won a lot of Grand Slams. It was amazing. But something happened in 2016. He started losing. He got injured, stressed. 0 Grand Slam, and he failed from being number 1 to being number 20. But does he stop being a champion? No. So how I know it? Because after 2018, he even became even better. He broke every record that he had before, and he got even more. By the way, this picture is from last year, from Paris 2024, the Olympic. It was one of these greatest achievements. Same thing applies to other champions. Michael Phelps, Simon Biles, Ronda Rousey, you familiar with? So they are all great champions that suddenly at the peak, they fail. So how come those great champions failing? So two reasons. The first one, the more successful you are, the more pressure you will feel on your shoulder. The second thing is that if your self-worth is built only on success, okay, so you are in a big trouble, because when you are failing, you're feeling really, really low, really, really depressed, and like you will feel in the bottom, in the really bottom. So if you will build a self-worth, no matter of the outcome, you will be a champion and you will continue to be a champion. Same thing applies to a Scrum Master. Is there any Scrum Masters here? Nice. So on what are you measured?
On what am I measured?
Yes, if you did do a great job or not.
Yeah.
On what?
Well, the results of the team, basically. And also regarding what the team provides by the end of each sprint, for example.
Okay, so what, done versus plan?
Yes.
Team's
Also-
health,
Also, psychological safety of the team as
psychological safety.
well. Efficiency as well. Communication, if they communicate enough.
Okay, great. So if, for example, you did an amazing job from 10 sprints in a row, and then suddenly the team failed for another 3 sprints.
Yeah.
So what does it mean on you? It means that you are doing a less good job?
No. I actually been through this many
Okay.
times. So yeah, we have also our up and downs, but during the downs of our team, I'm not feeling bad because I know that we have a lot of ups. And I have a good manager I can talk to, and he understands that. And what we did, basically, we had a great retrospective. We think about what has changed, and then apply those, have some conversations and make some comments, and then apply those comments into the sprints, and then it went again up. So whenever we are going down, I'm actually looking through the system, looking through the framework, what has changed. I identify it, then we discuss it on retrospective, update it, and now it's going up again.
But your self-worth, self-confidence is not harmed.
No.
Perfect. So you are in the right place. Thanks for sharing. What is your name?
That is all.
Thank you. By the way, doesn't...
But you can call me Brian.
Brian!
More simple.
Thank you, Brian.
That is,
So although it doesn't relate to a topic, what do you think? I love memes. Yes? By the way, I created this. Yes. What do you think a Scrum Master should do? Solve all the problems of the teams, let's say blockers, dependencies, or you should let them solve by themselves? Why do you say both? Maybe it's true.
I think that it is not correct to let the people solve problems by themselves beyond their job that are doing the whole day. And I think that Scrum Master should help them to improve their better work, but he certainly cannot solve all the issues.
Thank you. Amazing answer. So actually, how I look at it, it's like the yellow, it's a short term, okay? You need to help your team to solve the problems if they are stuck, so that the developers will do what they need to do, right? Develop. So if they're stuck, you need to help them as soon as possible. But on the long term, okay, you want that your team will be self-managed. So if you will help them all the time, they will not be self-managed. So this is like long-term, long-term, short-term. So to conclude, the idea that we talked about, the self-worth, okay? You need to give 100% for the result, but you don't want that the result will be 100% of who you are. Think about it for a second, okay? But how do we do it? How we get to this goal? For me, it's very simple. Have you ever asked yourself this one question? Who am I without my titles, my job, my result, my success, my achievements? Who am I? So if you will answer it, you might get to the answer so that those results will not have an influence on you. You're familiar with this guy on LinkedIn? Maybe it's even one of you, right? That looks like a superhero. So many things he did. But actually, maybe he's an employee, right? Unemployed at the end. So this guy for sure needs to build a self-worth, right? To show who is really are. Because when you're asking yourself who you are without your titles, okay, to reveal who you are, really are. So how all of this relate to communication? Elevator pitch. So if you are introduce yourself without all your titles, okay, people can know who you really are. They can connect with you deeply. When you are just transforming that data, like, I did this, I did that, I work here. Okay, it's nice. It's data that I can collect from LinkedIn, we saw. But they really cannot know who you really are. So when you are connecting with them deeply, okay, with those no title introduction, they can feel who you are and they can really connect with you. Second thing is the thing of the self-worth that we talked about. So if you and your team are all in the same mindset, so it will be much easier to connect with each other. And if you are all in the same mindset, all your team, it's much easier to reach all your team's goal. Elevator pitch, I guess you are all familiar with. Elevator pitch is a pitch of between 30 to 60 seconds. That if you want to sell something, you want to talk about your product, or you want to introduce yourself. So in page number 2, our first exercise, we want to write introduction with all our achievements, success, and roles. And another version with title free, and then pair up with someone here. Okay, it can be someone that sits near you, and you should introduce yourself in both of the things, okay, both versions, and then have a reflection. Let's take 10 minutes. If you have any question, I'm here. Thank you. Let's continue with it. A lot of material. Okay. So, how was your exercise? What do you think? Brian?
Sorry, I'm breaking your rules.
No, it's okay. Without title, who wants to say something? Without title, did you feel more connected? Okay, why? Someone? Yes, go ahead.
So we both, in the first round, we both told each other our titles, and it was okay. Like, oh, I do this and I do that, and it was fine. We hear it all the time. But then the moment we switched to off titles, we discovered that we were both musicians, that we both like food. So it was immediate connection right there and then. So that was very cool.
Thank you very much for sharing. And with title, who still thinks that he can connect better with title? It's not a job interview, guys. So why you need your titles? Okay, Brian, why?
I'm not telling that I have a better introduction with title. I'm just saying I have a similarly good one with title and without title. Because
Okay.
I introduce regularly, even
Yes.
regularly, I do not bring professional life that much into introduction. So in the first part of my introduction, I focus on myself and what person I am and what I like to do and stuff and hobbies. And then afterwards, when the conversation goes on, then I start talking about professional life and telling that, yeah, I do this, and this. So in the first part of introduction, I just say that I'm a Scrum Master and I'm not trying to say more about that. I just say it's my job and I just continue. So yeah.
Thanks for elaborating. Thank you. So, let's continue. What they have, those guys, in common? We talked about Novak, right? If we are adding another guy, you know, to shout his name, because Nikola Jokic, because I love this guy. So what they have in common? Okay, except of it.
The sportsman?
What?
The sportsman?
Yes.
They
But
win
try
a
to
lot.
think
Champions.
without the title, without the job.
Champions.
Champions? We are all champions.
Parents.
Parents.
I think they love what they do, because otherwise they wouldn't be good at it.
Right. They strive for greatness in what they do.
Nico actually doesn't love basketball. He likes horses. He said that multiple times like that.
So-
Basketball, he doesn't like it that much.
So if I'm adding another guy in the middle, what now? All they have in common, beside the fact that they are all tall and handsome.
They're jokers.
Jokers? No. Okay, we are all strive for greatness. Yes, you know what? I'm a little bit better, in sports. Yes, a little bit. But they are strive for greatness in tennis and basketball, right? I'm trying in communication, try to influence people about communication. And I saw how deep connection, you can reach your team's goal and others' goal. And in the next slide, you will see reference to some researchers, okay? From now on, all of this session is based on research, okay, that I'm doing in my day-to-day at work and in life. And I also influence my team to do it. And I hope that you will use it by the end of this talk. So as the one who's obsessed with communication, if your technically skills are 10 out of 10, but your communication skills is 5 out of 10. So what the hell are you? Overall, 5 or 10? Why 10?
I don't want to consider myself that we have technical skills at this point. So I would say my communication skills are 5.
Ah, okay. So you have a cheat code. but let's say you are technically 10 out of 10, and your communication skill is 5 out of 10. So are you a 5 or a 10?
5.
5. It depends? Why it depends?
Depends on the position of the responsibilities that you have.
Okay, maybe. So you are only as good as your ability to communicate. Okay, because if you communicate correctly, you can amplify your technical skills. Okay? You can influence your team and even companies. Okay, so it's very, very important to improve your communication skills, especially in this AI era, right? So the soft skill of communication skills is important because technology will always be changed, but humans, we are here to stay, right? So yes, it's supposed to be 5. So if you want to become a super communicator, okay, to amplify your work, what do you need to do? Okay, so first of all, we need to define who are those super communicators. By the way, it's Belgrade in the background. Okay, so who are those super communicators? They are not necessarily the smartest people or the one that leads teams, okay? They're not necessarily Scrum Masters or PO. Super communicators are the people that are glue of the team, okay? They hear more than they talk, and they say the right thing at the right time, and they eventually moving their team forward. So today we will learn how to become a super communicator. So I guess you all want, who wants to become a super communicator? Okay, so let's start. And I want to start with a confession. I used to think that I was a pretty good communicator, okay? But 15 years ago, I got my first management role. So I thought how hard it could be. Eventually, it turned out to be very, very hard. Don't get me wrong, my calendar was full. I was talking non-stop, but something change happened. Every time that I talk with someone, they look at me like I'm reading them the IKEA instruction in Swedish. Have you ever heard this thing? So it was really, really bad. And I didn't know why. One day, one developer came to me and said that some of the people in the team feel that their voice cannot be heard, that other people are shouting their ideas. And they asked me as a manager to do something. So I came and with the idea that maybe we need, I gathered all the team and said maybe we need to define the role of every person. And then they came to me and said, why aren't you supporting us? You should be outraged on behalf of us. And I was even more upset because I thought I'm giving them a good advice. So it was not good communication. It was not a good conversation. So before we even dig into communication tools, we need to understand one thing. We think of a discussion as one conversation, but the reality is that each discussion contains many different conversations. And again, references to those researchers. And those conversations tend to fall to one of the following 3 buckets. There is this practical conversation about what we want from this conversation, what we want to solve, what are their solutions. And each conversation leans into data and reasoning. There is this emotional conversation about how do we feel. We want to share our feelings. We don't want to solve anything. We just want to emphasize. And it's leaning into stories and empathy. And there is this social conversation about who we really are. What we want for the society and what the society wants for us. And it leans into identities and relationships. And what the researchers found, Douglas, Brown, and etc., is that when people don't having the same kind of conversation, they cannot really hear each other, and they cannot really connect. And that's what happened to me and my team, right? They were coming to me and said that some people, their voice cannot be heard. They were in emotional conversation, and I was obsessed with even the solution. And I was in a practical conversation. They are both legit conversations, don't get me wrong. But because we weren't having the same kind of conversation, we cannot really connect. We cannot really hear each other. And the researchers gave it a name. The name is the matching principle. The matching principle said that communication recognizes which conversation you are, and only then you can feel connected. Only then you can feel bounded with the person that you are talking to. Only then you will really understand what he or she said. But how do we matching out those conversations? Well, it's very simple. With question, and in particular, specific kind of question called as a deep questions. Deep questions are questions about dream, experience, passions, values, and beliefs. So when we are answering those questions, we are really revealing who we really are and what we want for this discussion and how we see people and how people see us. So let me give you some examples. Well, deep question is here to have meaningful conversation. Surface level question, like regular question, are here that only gathering basic information. They are, most of the time, you cannot have a meaningful conversation. So instead of asking a surface level question, such as, how long have you been in this company? You can ask a deep question of, what has been the most rewarding part of your time here? Right? You can really understand the people. Instead of asking, how do you work? We can ask, what do you love about your job? So when you will get an answer to this, you will gather much, much more data and connection than the surface level, right? Same applies to Scrum events. So we can ask deep questions. Those are just examples to deep questions. And if we will ask them in daily Scrum, sprint review, sprint planning and retrospective, the meeting will have much deeper depth, right? It will have, you will know better, and if there will be a meaningful conversation, it will be much easier to get to our goals, to our team goals. So we should use the deep question. So to summarize the idea of deep question, what do you think? It's about feelings or about facts? Yes, this is an easy one. Okay, yes. Feelings. So to summarize, instead of asking about the facts of someone's life or work, we should ask them how they feel about their life or work. Because again, when they are revealing it, we can really connect and bond it, and eventually it will lead to a success. But the opposite, it might lead to a failure. In a research that was done in the last few years, 86% of employee and executives cite a lack of effective communication as the primary cause of workplace in project failure. And the number one obstacle to effective communication is alignment between the sender's intent, the message itself, and what the receiver really hears. So it brings a misalignment, miscommunication between the sender and the receiver. So to overcome this, we should use a tool or a technique called looping for understanding. That it has 3 steps. Step number 1, you should ask a question, prefer a deep question. When you got an answer, you should paraphrase. You need to summarize in your own word what the other person said, so that you are showing that you really heard them, you really processed it. And then step number 3, you are verifying. You are saying, did I say it right? So when all of those 3 happen, you can really understand and connect with people. And then we can start a new loop. Okay, so for example, a person asks a question, what you are going through right now, got an answer, and then paraphrase in your own words, and then got a verification, and then we can open a new loop. It's simple as that, but still, I think all of us or most of us are not doing it. Active listening, by the way, are only those 2 steps. The verification, the verify step is very crucial. So we need to do all those 3 steps. So let's practice it. What we learn about the 3 types of conversation, magic principle, deep question, looking for understanding. In page number 3, there are 3 rounds, each for each type of conversation. Okay, we need to work in pairs again. You can switch pairs. You should ask a question, and then go to paraphrase and verify, and then you can switch roles. Let's take 10 minutes. Thank you. Okay, let's continue, guys. Thank you. I guess you don't want to learn about storytelling. Our last technique of today, storytelling. I guess you're all familiar with storytelling, right? What is storytelling?
I don't know the title.
Ah, really? Someone? I'm counting on you.
I just nodded the head because I thought it was storytelling, like telling the story. It's exactly what it says.
Yes, like you can influence on people when you are sharing an authentic story, okay? It can be just for entertainment, but we can do it also in business storytelling. If we want to reach business goals, we can share stories, and based on the story, like the outcome is supposed to be something that relates to our goal. So if we want to improve ourselves, if we want to improve our outcome, if we are Scrum Master that we want to coach our team, how to, on the Agile principle, for example. So we can use business storytelling. But what is the formula of a good story? So first of all, you need to share an authentic and personal story. If you are sharing someone else's story, it doesn't count because people only connect to you. You can only engage and improve the trust when you are sharing your own. Second thing, we want to build characters to life with dialogue and acting. So you don't want just to tell the story like facts. You want to act. So for example, how I met my wife. So I can tell, I went to a bar, and from that we got married and happy ending. Or I can say, 5 kids, yes. I'm totally dead, yes. For sure. Or we can say, I saw a girl in the corner of the room, and then I went and started talking to her. And I said, what queen like you? Where is your king? And I can be one if you want.
First story is better.
So she said, I don't need a king. I just need a real man. So I ran away. Didn't know what to say. And you know what? After a minute, I approached her again and said, I can be your man if you want. You see, it's a different approach. Third thing, you want to focus on the peak moment. Okay, what happened really there and how you overcome it and get out of it. It's very important, and you want to connect it to the key lesson. We talked about our goals, okay, business goals. So it can be a nice story, but in the end it's supposed to link to something that you want, for example, your team to know and to do. And last thing, it's supposed to be short, punchy, with clear message. Remove all the fluff. It's supposed to be easy and catchy. So we have the formula. Now let's talk about the structure. Okay, so the structure is started from the context. You need to set the stage. Where it was, what you did, what are the characters that are there, what people are saying to each other. Like, you need to answer who, what, where, and when it was. After adversity, it's other word to challenge. What was the challenge? What was the low point of the story? And after it, the resolution, how you came out of this issue, okay, overcome it, solve it, and improve. And last thing, what is your takeaway? Maybe the most important one. What have you learned from this story? Like, the takeaway is supposed to be related to your goal. Okay, so it's easy to remember. It's cart. If you're familiar with the word cart in English, we are going to the supermarket. No, not
Just
Mario.
a mini car.
Not Mario Kart.
Yeah.
Cart,
Why not?
Cart in the supermarket.
That can be race.
So it's much easier. So I want to share an example, although I think, an amazing example with my wife. But if, let's say, I'm a Scrum Master or an Agile coach, and I want to coach my team on the principle of failing fast on a small scale, or the importance of sprint planning and priority. Which story do we want to hear? I think it's almost 50-50. Okay, sprint planning it is. If you will have time, you will hear the other story as well. Okay, sprint planning. A month ago, I needed to buy a bookshelf. So I did my biggest problem I did. I went to IKEA and I bought a bookshelf. So I came back home, and the bookshelf is like this at the end, but the IKEA instruction is like this. So I didn't find my hand and legs, so I didn't know what to do. So 3 more hours, I started, screw it, and I complete it, hang it, and then I look at it, and it doesn't look good. So I looked at the shelf, and the shelf looked at me, and the shelf said, "You don't see that I'm completely shaking, like I'm after 10 beers?" So I look at the shelf. Yes, it was. It wasn't good. So something was missing. And suddenly, I saw in the back of the room 1 screw. So it was probably I missed it. So I went back to the IKEA instruction and I checked it, and yes, I saw that I missed something. So I had to break it all and to repeat it. So I had no other choice. I waste a lot of time. So what I learned from it is like, if you are building a product or having a sprint, you need a plan. And if you have a plan, you need to follow it, and you need to work by priority. And if you will hit it, and if you're not, you will waste a lot of time, you will have a lot of bugs, and eventually it will lead to a failure.
And you have a team at home that can help you.
Yes, I will. So this is an example for story. So let's practice. Storytelling, page 6. We practice until the end of the workshop. It's related to some parts. First of all, you need to think about the story, right? After it, you break it to a structure, as we learned. And then take all it together. And then again, pair up with someone and tell him this is your story. Okay, let's continue. We have 3 more minutes. Let's wrap it up. Okay, so what are those key takeaways that we learned today and we practice? So first of all, you need to present yourself as you really are for better connection, right? The elevator pitch. Connect with people by having the same type of conversation, right? The 3 types of conversation and the matching principle. Ask deep questions for meaningful conversation. Focus on feelings, not only on facts. Fully understand the people by showing them that you really hear them. Okay, we're looking for understanding. You want also the verification. This may be the most important part. And lastly, connect emotionally, drive change, build trust with business storytelling. Any question regarding it?
I have a general question.
Yes.
You mentioned several times influencing people.
Yes.
Is influencing people good? Because when you are right, it is good. When you are wrong or evil, it can be bad. What would you say?
What is your role?
Can you repeat the question, please? We couldn't hear. Sorry.
I'm asking because we mentioned influencing people several times. I was asking what does he think if influencing people is good thing? Because when you are right and you are good, then it is good. But it can be that you are wrong or maybe misled or that you are evil.
Yeah.
What is your role?
Scrum Master Project
So
Manager.
you are Scrum Master.
He's evil.
I guess, yes, you are. No. So I guess that you take it to you on purpose, right? Like, for example, storytelling. You want to teach your team, for example, why they need to be on the daily Scrum. What it gives them? What is the value for them? Same for retrospective. Other meetings and Agile in general. When I implementing Agile, okay, Agile transformation from scratch, I get a lot of pushbacks. I don't know if how many of you get pushbacks. Developers don't understand why they need Agile. So first of all, my approach is you need to show them what is for them. Why they need to add those Jira tickets. What the hell it's give them? So when you are telling them and show them that it's good for them, okay? So they will be more engaged for you. So you can do it with all of those tools. Other question? Yes.
About the way you started this presentation, you didn't even mention your name or what you do, and you are an expert in communication. Was that on purpose, or because the
Yes,
first thing is to present yourself?
Because I'm not important here. You are important.
Okay. That's why I'm asking, because I guess that everything you told today was somehow related to the goal of better communication. So you're
this case, you are important. But by the way, in the first page, if you are asking, we can connect. Okay, there are QR codes. Okay, to connect with me, we'll be more than happy. And there's also QR code for feedback from this session. And also, if you will have time, like a minute, for give a testimony to this lovely guy.
Maybe just one more question. How are Novak Djokovic and Jokic related to communication?
Novak?
Yeah.
To me?
Yes. Why did you use those examples in the workshop about them?
Because Novak Djokovic, we saw, right? He was amazing. He fell from 2 or 3 years, and then he overcome. So we saw that it was, in my view, not only was because he was stressed and everything, it was like a mental thing of not being fully understood, fully self-worthy. That's what we talked about. When you are knowing yourself who you really are, so you can really become again the champion. Okay? So it's related to it.
Because you are a communication expert, so everything you decided to communicate with us has a reason, probably, if you thought about it.
Yes? It's an example of someone from Serbia, I think, and all over the world. Is amazing. Any other question before we are really wrapping up? Okay, so last thing, in the age of an AI, what is the role of us as humans? Our role is to communicate better, to connect with people, but deeply, right? This is something that AI cannot do. Yes, AI is amazing. AI can help you to move forward. You have a lot of sessions of AI, but AI cannot feel. It cannot connect. It cannot create coalition with people. So when you really want to reach people, you really want to connect with them deeply, you need to improve your communication skills. As we saw, a lot of tools. So I encourage you to use them in your day-to-day at work. Implement it in your team. If you have questions, don't hesitate. You can send me a message and I will be more than happy to assist. Because at the end, all we need is amazing human communication skills. Thank you very much. If there is any question, I'm here for you. Thanks.
I really liked it. It was great reflecting on my own communication to improve the communication and how I get to other people. And I think it will benefit me in my work.
It was really nice because I really think that Elad's personality is so open and he actually can connect to the people. That's why he's a communication master, right? And he's also a really nice guy.
I really like this workshop. It was pretty interactive. I generally like the topic of public speaking, of persuasion, so this was a nice refreshment because it's my first time hearing about these topics on a, let's say, business conference. Because previously I was learning about these topics on student conferences because I'm 25 years old, so this is a thing I like.
Yes, I think this was a really good workshop.
I dig deeper into things I knew on the basics. So.
Yes, I did, especially about the deep questions. So it's really important to, when I'm talking with someone, it's really important to not just ask, but then rephrase it and verify if I really connected with that person. Because it's really easy to ask a question, but it's really hard to really understand it.
Yes, I learned a couple of new things and confirmed, and I saw some things that I use in my conversations. What is actually behind. He explained really good and helped me expand those in future and improve.
Some of the things I was aware of, some of the things were new, but I think basically it was very important because I firmly believe that communication is really important in teams, so that people would feel understood and appreciated, and that's how we make teams better, that's how we make teams and work more productive. So overall I think it was very, very positive and beneficial.
Yes, of course, that's actually really important, because when you just hear the lesson, you can also sleep there and no one would notice. But if you are in the middle and you have to do some activities, then of course you remember them much more than like you just would be sitting and listening to whatever presentation.
The one thing that I remember the most is the difference in understanding the message. So how one person says something and how the other party understands it.
Absolutely. So this was a really good workshop, and I think he's a really good presenter, and definitely I will.
Of course I will. Hey everybody, come to the Belgrade. This is a lovely place to be, and all together with the Scrum Alliance, all these Scrum gatherings, it was really nice, and I really hope that you will be here next year.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I would recommend it. I like that we had exercises to do, and also we were encouraged to meet other peoples here, participants, to have a conversation with them. It was a nice thing to go through the different approaches in introducing yourself, like the emotional, the logical/rational one, and the social one. That's something I didn't hear about in my previous workshops. I heard something similar to that, but it's a different approach, so I would definitely recommend it to other people.
Definitely. Everybody.
Wow, it was such an amazing time here in Belgrade. So many lovely people with curiosity. They really were deep into my session, my workshop. I got a lot of great feedback, positive one, and I really liked it. And people said that they will understand it, they know the tools, and they will use it as soon as possible with your team, and so we can influence people, we can impact people with all those tools, and I hope to come back here for next year.
Thank you very much.